Hi, this is Micornus, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. I want to deal with a topic that speaks about what makes a leader memorable. What makes a leader memorable? What makes you to be remembered by the subordinates that you lead? And as a young man, I believe strongly that you need to leave a mark in the lives of those that are submitting to you, those that are your subordinates. You need to leave a mark in their lives. And therefore, you need to be memorable in their lives, and they need to remember you always wherever they are. Now, I want you as a young man just to think about it and say, who is that leader that you remember the most? Who is that leader that everything that you think about a leader, you think about them? And I want to just to speak about the nuggets today that makes a leader memorable, those things that will make you to be remembered by your own subordinates even thereafter. Now, the first thing that makes leaders memorable is those leaders that admitted when they were wrong. Those leaders that would actually say, I am wrong, and they will admit that I'm wrong. And they are not the know-it-all leaders. They are not people that will actually feel that they know everything. And I want you as a young man to understand that it is very important to admit when you are wrong. It's not embarrassing yourself to say I'm wrong in front of your colleagues, in front of your subordinates as well. It is very, very much strong integrity when you are able to admit when you are wrong. There are many leaders that do a lot of wrongs and they want to show a face as if there's nothing wrong that they do. And they want to create a posture or a picture that is they never do anything wrong. And while they know that their own subordinates are aware that they do some wrong things and they are wrong at some time, they make mistakes as well as individuals. But remember that as a human being, you cannot be infallible. You are so fallible as a human being, and every one of us are fallible in a way that we make mistakes. And we should be able to agree that we can make mistakes. And if you are able to agree and admit, you will be memorable before the people. Those leaders that were able to say, I'm sorry because I've done a mistake. These are the leaders that we remember in our lives. And I'm sure you would agree with me as a young man that you need to work on this. That don't feel embarrassed by saying, I am wrong. Admit when you are wrong. Because also the advantage of admitting when you are wrong is that you will be able to correct that which you are wrong with and be able to shape it to a new direction. Because the people that are able to accept when they are wrong and when they admit that when they are wrong, they're able to shape things to a different direction of success. Because when you don't agree that you are wrong and you're taking a certain path, you may continue with that path to try to prove to your subordinates that you are right until you go to a destiny where you'll totally lose the value of what you're supposed to do. Or you may not get the results of what you're busy doing because you've actually taken a path and you don't want to admit that you're wrong. You continue with the wrong direction because you want to prove yourself right, and therefore you are actually not going to meet or get the results out of what you're busy doing. So those that are able to admit when they are wrong, they are able actually to correct the mistakes. And they're able actually to put a better direction into what they're busy with. And they are able actually to find success at the end of the day because they've been able to correct earlier on the mistakes that they've done and continue in the direction or the path that they're supposed to be taking, which is more valuable for them, and to make sure that they get the results. Secondly, as a young man, a leader that is memorable in life that you need to adopt to become a memorable leader is those leaders that forgave our mistakes. You become a memorable leader when you are able to forgive the mistakes of others. Remember that as you are agreeing that you are fallible, you agreeing that you can commit mistakes as well as an individual. We want you to remember also that other people can commit mistakes as well. Now, there are leaders that are not forgiving. There are leaders that will forever condemn people that have made mistakes as if they themselves never make a mistake. And we want to emphasize as Young Men Empowerment Forum that as a young leader coming, Make sure that you are able to embrace your own mistakes, and make sure that you are able to see when you have done a mistake, and also make sure that you admit that you are wrong, but also make sure as you go forward that you are aware that other people can make mistakes like you do as well. This becomes very crucial and very important because many leaders don't want to accept when other people have made mistakes. They are forever guarding for mistakes of others and actually hammering them to an extent that they're condemning them. There are many people that work under you, the subordinates that work under you, and if forever you're looking for their mistakes and you're hammering on their mistakes and making them feel bad, honestly speaking, you are actually destroying them. And I'm emphasizing this because this is what many leaders would do. But leaders like that, they are not memorable at all. Now, as a young man, if you want to be memorable as a leader, so make sure that you forgive others people's mistakes as well. But not only forgiving, but also be able to assist them to come out of that mistakes. Assist them to be able to recover from those mistakes. Because if the people have made mistakes, you forgive them and only, but you don't help them out of it. Please help them. If they don't know how to come out of that mistakes, help them as well, because that will actually help them to be able to know that they've made a mistake, and then how to come out of the mistake, and they will not fall under the same mistake, into the same mistake again, because you would have helped them to come out. If they ever fall under or into that same mistake, they'll be able to come out because they would have known how to come out as well. This is very, very important. So forgive others' mistakes. Don't hammer on them. Don't hold them on their mistakes. And also, when we speak about forgiving other people's mistakes, we're talking about not forever going back and reminding them about them. Because if you are forgiving somebody about the mistakes, it would mean then that you're not going to be harper on it again. You're not going to go back to it again. You're not going to be keeping on reminding them about it. And therefore, even when they do another mistake, let it be new page. Because if it is going to be like you've done mistake last week, you've done another one last week, you've done another one last month, and so on, you are not forgiving. And those are type of leaders that are not memorable to the eyes or the minds of their subordinates. And these leaders cannot be remembered. But for you to become a remembered leader as a young man, please be able to forgive other people's mistakes and don't harper on those mistakes at any given time. Don't go back to those mistakes all the time. That's the only way you're going to be able to conquer. Now, also, leaders that are memorable are those that believe in us, those that believe in you. Because every single individual, we must emphasize that every single individual is looking for a leader that will believe in them. When you are leading people, start believing in your people. And that's the only way you're going to encourage them. That's the only way you're going to see productivity out of them, when you believe in them. Because also remember that as a leader, you're not the one who's hands-on, particularly in the tasks and jobs that you give into them. You are actually assigning them assignments. You are giving them allocations of tasks and work, and they're the ones that are doing it. So therefore, if you don't believe in them, it would mean then that you would actually end up doing every single thing and every single job that you're supposed to delegate to other people just purely because you don't believe in them. Now, remember also that when you believe in people, those people are actually going to grow and develop. Because people develop by being trusted, being believed in, and they face challenges, they make mistakes and correct them. And that's the only way they're going to develop and grow. And people remember leaders that have believed in them. People remember leaders that are believing in them. So as a young man who's a leader, or a young man who's developing into a leader, please remember that you need to believe in the people. If you are actually supposed to be developing them, and you want them to develop and become better, and for them to remember you even in future, you must believe in them. So therefore, believing in people is very important. And you as a young man as well, you would remember a leader that trusted in you. Because when a leader has believed in you and trusted in you, you would always remember that leader. And I must emphasize that be that kind of a leader yourself, that your subordinates will remember you because you've believed in them in life. I want to end up here today. Your host, Micornus, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. Believe me, this is a great topic. We will continue with part 2 tomorrow. And before we check out today, we want to remind you of our Facebook page, Young Men Empowerment Forum, and our Facebook page, Micornus. So follow us there, like the page, click notification buttons as well. Don't forget our YouTube channel as well, Young Men Empowerment Forum, and our YouTube channel, Micornus. Subscribe to those channels. Make sure that you also click notification buttons as well. Our TikTok account, forever ready for you as well. And I believe that you will learn and you'll be able to teach others what we're teaching you as well. Until we meet again in part 2 tomorrow, allow me to say, may the God bless you, and let me say cheers for now.